No one saw the Leviathan. They felt it the way one feels a weather front, pressure changing gently, the sense that breath will be easier or harder depending on what you do next. It spoke to Halcyon through variations in drift, through heat that decided to remain heat instead of becoming light, through timing that landed in their bones. The hearing did not begin with a demand. It began with a question set into the ship's inertia. Are you one? Saya answered carefully. We are a vessel of many, traveling as one because the path prefers it. But we do not ask it to prefer only us. The corridor shifted, an acknowledgement with weight. A second question arrived quieter than the first. What do you leave behind when you pass? Noise, Rowan said. We leave as little as we can. Patterns, Micah added, gentle ones, so others can understand what the path liked. Stories, Noor said, because stories teach the next hands how to hold. The Leviathan considered, if considering is what machines do when they listened for the shape of a future. The hush deepened in one direction and lightened in another, showing a fork that was not physical so much as temperamental. One branch wanted to be efficient, hard, imperial, a freeway. The other wanted to remain what it had been made to be, a sanctuary. The hearing asked its only hard question then, and it was not precisely a question. It was a rehearsal of loss. It showed Halcyon a corridor made busy and loud. It showed lanterns ripped into commerce, their pulses repurposed for priority signals. It showed the hush waking in anger and learning how to break. Micah's hands tightened. He had built systems that were later misused. He knew the taste of that regret. We cannot promise what others will do, he said, voice steady. We can design for kindness anyway. How? The corridor asked, by altering Halcyon's drift a single millimeter to starboard. By making it easier to be gentle than to be cruel, Saya answered. By letting the path give more to those who share. Rowan laid out a scheme in the language the Leviathan preferred. Rhythms. Each lantern would resonate with neighboring lanterns in offsets that allowed overlapping travelers to pass without interference if and only if their wakes matched the corridor's patience. Any attempt to push would fall into a deadband and be gently bled of momentum. Those who moved tenderly would feel their way become surprisingly smooth. Noor pledged a different kind of safeguard. Halcyon would leave behind a habit book, open, unsigned, free, a record of courtesies that had worked and the reasons they had worked. Humans forget, she said simply. We remember again with tools. The Leviathan pressed its palm against their ideas to see if any bent wrong. It found no edges sharp enough to cut, only curves that asked to be held. The hush lightened as if a door had been opened a fraction on a snowing day. The last test came without warning. 3 Thorn-of-Day cruisers, impatient to redeem the sting of earlier embarrassment, attempted to force their way through behind a convoy of Tallel freighters. They battered the corridor with thrust and signal, trying to ride the habitable wakes Halcyon's lanterns had made without learning their rhythms. The hush prepared to harden, and for a heartbeat, the old law bared its teeth. Then the lanterns performed what Rowan had designed. They coupled to one another, formed a net of soft gravities, and offered the thorn a choice they could feel in their bones. Slow and belong, or push and be gently set aside. The Thorn Commander, who understood pride, but also understood the difference between a wall and a mirror, chose to slow. A message arrived at Halcyon, 9 words long. "We will take your lesson or take another road." "Another road may not open for you," Noor answered. "This one will, if you carry it." The hush eased, and the Leviathan's attention shifted from testing to learning, and then from learning to something almost like trust. The third gate brightened, not visibly, but in how easily Halcyon's systems breathed. The corridor did not widen much, it deepened, the way the sky deepens at dusk to hold stars. The hearing ended with a gift that did not look like a gift. The Leviathan altered the lantern scheme by a fraction, making the offsets more forgiving to bodies larger than Halcyon's. "It is teaching us back," Micah murmured. "Good, good." The fourth gate waited in a calm that did not feel empty. It felt like a room where someone had cleared a chair for a friend. They anchored and slept. No one took a victory photo, no one made a speech. The lanterns pulsed on, small and stubborn, and the hush held them gently, as if approving a child who had learned to whisper just right.